And so I'm Tom Bassett, president and founder of Bassett & Partners. We get hired by designers, marketers, and advertisers to find new ways to connect with people emotionally. And I'm co-founder of a company called Swarms. It's a mouthful. We'll probably change the name, but it's an internet company's paid webcam video Q&A. And I was briefed a few days ago. I'm filling a gap, so this is, I was briefed on inspiration and don't sell, so here we go. What I'm about to tell you probably means I won't ever be able to run for public office. I went to see a dominatrix. Her name is Mistress Morgana. She has a lair in San Francisco. And I want to assure you, however, that the visit was purely for professional reasons. And for the record, I had no previous experience with BDSM. Let me explain. A design agency client of ours, who, for obvious reasons, shall remain nameless, was looking to design a product that would create intense emotional desire, bordering on becoming a sort of fetish. As you can imagine, there might have been a number of different ways to learn about how people and their emotional connections with objects. So why, you might ask, a dominatrix? You could just say we were curious. For those of you who might be mildly offended by the videotape you're about to see, earmuffs, please.
A fetish describes a person's profound lust for an object. When I'm conducting a fetish scene, I always like to keep in mind that we are all submissive to the fetish. If someone comes in and they want, a deep cathartic flogging or some inescapable Japanese rope bondage, that's not necessarily a fetish. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about, the sort of, what I have are not like a nice 1990s Playboy and a pack of Marlboros. It's the vintage magazines, the Lucky Strikes, it's these period details that end up being really great. This is absolutely a fetish object, as is a nice wooden hairbrush. You're kind of crossing the line between fetish and then just like sensation and masochism with a wooden spoon. All the whips and chains, right? I have big, heavy whips that feel like a car wash. They feel like a deep tissue massage. This hurts. And there's a little bit of a spectrum, right? This thing can go from kind of 0 to 100, depending on how you use it. This, with the lecturing and the spanking, is a self-contained unit. This doesn't end with me then having sex with someone. It ends with me maybe giving someone a kiss on the forehead and a hug and saying, "You've done very well." It's about the things that you acquire and the way that elevates you. In ways that can be kind of ritual and beautiful, and then in ways that can be just, really devastating for the self-esteem of young children. If you tell me that you spent your afternoon over at Billy's house doing your homework, I'm going to call Billy's mother and see if that was really the case. When is a thing an obsession? When is it a fetish? When is it just something that you really love? When is it a proclivity? This is the female domain, and that this is the way in which I connect with every other mommy on earth to find out if you have indeed been a booger bag. It's much more common that we know what it's like to lust after an object and really love spending some time devoted to paying attention to that object. It's this idea that the thing that is real is replaced by a photocopy of that thing. And then we all jump up and down on top of and celebrate the photocopy. And that's it. Like, it's this wonderfully kind of self-contained thing.
So you might be wondering how and why this inspired me. Obviously it took me to new and very unfamiliar territory, which I think is increasingly hard to do in this world where creating things are very different out there. And it made me a little uncomfortable, which in some respects I always take as a good sign. And on a personal note, trying to keep a poker face when you're interviewing a dominatrix is not a particularly easy thing for me. And it exposed me to a new subculture. I guess most importantly, it added dimensions to a number of concepts of obsession and proclivity and fetish that I previously thought maybe I sort of understood. So on a final note, as a token of appreciation to Ed for inviting me here to speak today, I wanted to give you this little self-contained